Good day, everyone. These videos will talk about the cytoplasms and cell membranes. In the previous lesson, we already learned how is the nucleus look like. So these videos will talk about the cytoplasms and cell membranes. Cytoplasms, as you know, is a semi-fluid medium that contains a variety of organelles and other structures, as well as the storage products and insoluble waste. The soluble part of the cytoplasm that forms the cytosol between the organelles. So they contain about 90% of water and cytoskeletons. So you will study the cytoskeletons in the coming lessons. Then the cytoplasm or the cytosol, they contain all basic biochemical of life, salt, sugars, vitamin, fatty acid, and so on, which is required for the cellular activities. Importance as the site of certain metabolic pathways such as glycolysis. So if you study the cellular respiration, so you should know what is a glycolysis. Then large molecules such as proteins to form the colloidal solutions in cytosol. So often more gel-like at the outer regions of the cytoplasms. So maybe in the concept of cytoplasms for you is not so clear. So today we will go through what is cytoplasm and what is cytosol, how to differentiate between these two terms. Okay, cytosol is something like the jelly O, that means just the jelly. And then cytoplasm, you see the jelly O plus the fruit cocktails. So that means the fruit cocktails here in the jelly can be represented as organelles, proteins, and other substances or materials that found in cell. Or in other ways, we can see that the cytoplasm is like the veggie stew, in which the soup is the cytosol and the vegetables or the ingredients are what we call the organelles. So when this soup and the veggie and the meat ball and so on, they forms the soup, it is a cytoplasm. Okay, or another examples like this one. Okay, so just the soup only is known as cytosol. Then the others materials, veggie, meat, that is known as, they are known as organelles. So various organelles are suspended within the cytosol. So that means cytoplasm actually is the cytosol plus organelles. All the organelles are contains or are found in the cytosol. Then the whole thing is known as a cytoplasm. Okay, plasma membranes. In this video, we just briefly describe what is plasma membrane because we'll study the plasma membrane in detail for the next chapter. So the plasma membrane, as you study in SPM or O level, you know the plasma membrane consists of phospholipid molecules, proteins, glycoproteins, glycolipids, and cholesterol. Okay, so this is roughly the structure of the plasma membrane. We call it is a fluid mosaic model of a plasma membrane. So the membranes are partially permeable, or we can note it as a selectively permeable. They allow only the passage of water and small molecules such as gases to pass through easily. So other substances like the glucose amino acid, and the fatty acids and ions can diffuse slowly through them. But however, the fatty acids can diffuse through it very easily. Also as a measure of active control over the substances they allow through. Okay, so from here we can see that the gases and the small volume molecules, okay, uncharged polar molecule, which is for example the water, okay, so like this one, okay, ethanol, okay, and water, urea, they can pass through the phospholipid without any proteins or transport proteins. However, the glucose, amino acid, and others, we can see the nucleic acid and so on, and the ions, they are unable to pass through the phospholipid bilayer without any transport proteins. So that means these substances requires transport proteins to pass through it. So the cell membrane actually their importance for many functions. So now today we go through the several functions here, but at the end I also summarize it for you. Okay, the separation of cell content from their external environments. That means the cell membrane acts as a barrier. Okay, acts as a barrier to separate the cell content with the external environment. Then the cell membrane here, they also provide the compartmentalizations occur inside the cells. Okay, for example, they have like endoplasmic reticulums. Then they have chloroplasts, mitochondria. So these organelles also surrounded by the membrane. So this provide what we call a compartment, okay, in which different type of reactions can be taken place at the same time, okay, but they don't disturb to others reactions. So this one we call it as a compartmentalization occur inside the cell for some metabolic processes. Then many chemical reactions in cells are carried out by the enzyme that are bound to membranes. So the cell membrane also, they have enzymes or enzyme complex to bound to it. So this enzyme will carry out many chemical reactions. For example, the photosynthesis and respirations. And also in the SER, smooth endoplasmic reticulums, they also got enzymes to bound to it. Okay, controlling exchange of materials because of the transport proteins, so they can transport the nutrients and the waste out of the cell inside the cells. And also allow the certain substances which is a small, apolar, and no charge to pass through the cell membrane. Then on the cell membrane, there are some glycoproteins or glycolipids also can be used as for cell recognitions because they can be used as antigens. Okay, and also act as a receptor. Okay, this one's for the proteins. Okay, the proteins that found in on the membranes, so can be used as a receptor site, okay, to recognize hormones or to allow the neurotransmitters to bind to it. So in summary, we can say that for the cell membrane, the proteins they are used for transport, enzymes, receptors, okay, and the cholesterol part used to stabilize the cell membrane and prevent the small polar molecules, okay, from passing through, okay. Then the glycoproteins and glycolipids, they are used for cell recognitions. Thank you. So if you got question, don't hesitate to contact me. That's all. Bye.